Alright folks, welcome back to another video. I'm Kevin Duty and this is Duty's Daggers. And today's an exciting day because we finally have, after a small hiatus or a brief period, we have a new knife to check out. I haven't had very many new knives recently because, well, financially I just had to take a little break. But this is a really cool knife and I'm excited to check it out. I got it in a trade, and let's freaking dig into it. I apologize for my dirty hands. I've been working in the shop all day and I'm going to show you what I've been working on. Check it out. This is my first attempt at a full flat grind and I'm pretty happy with how it came out. My plunge grind is not perfect on this side. This side is pretty near perfect. And overall, I really like how this turned out. I don't have a traditional belt sander. I have what I used to grind in my bevels is basically just one of those hand belt sanders. The belt's only about like this long. I think it's a 7-inch belt. So it's pretty difficult to get good consistent grinds on that, but I think I did pretty good for the tools that I have. So I'm really stoked on this one. The next step in the process is going to be the heat treat, the quenching, and the tempering. So hopefully all that goes well, and I'm going to do a lot of sanding and then slap a handle on this bad boy. And we'll see how it performs, we'll see how it works out. This might be one of my favorite designs that I've done so far. Basically what I've been doing is just kind of making different designs until I find one that I really like. And then once I find one that I really like, I'm going to make a batch of, 5 to 7, maybe, well, probably more like 5. I'll probably make a batch of 5 of them once I find a good one. So this might be it. I really like it. I've made, let's see, 1, 2, 3. This is my 4th design that I've tried. And so far, really digging it. I'm really excited to see how this one turns out. So that's why my hands are really dirty. Excuse them. Without further ado, let's get into this bad boy. Oops. So like I said, this is a used knife that I got in a swap. But at least judging from the pictures, it is in very good condition. I would say like new. Alright, we got the box and everything, so that's cool. What else is in here? Oh, piece of cardboard. Okay. Alrighty. And it is a Kaiser. Love me some Kaisers. Some of my favorite knives are Kaisers. Let's open this bad boy up. Oh, weird. It's kind of a different packaging than Kaiser usually does. Usually it's a little bit of a nicer box. But we got all the paperwork, we got the cleaning cloth in there. Alrighty. Oh, extra hardware. That's kind of cool. Alright. This is the Kaiser Hiccup. Awesome. It's a button lock. We have rich light scales, which is an interesting material. I kind of like that kind of pattern on there. That looks cool. Alright, so we have multiple means of deployment. We got a flipper tab, we got a hole, and we got thumb studs. And these thumb studs are actually removable. So that's kind of cool. Let's give her an old thumb flick. Okay. Ooh, it's really smooth. Yeah, it's very smooth. Look at that free swinging blade. Feels different than the Civivi button locks that I've handled. Can't really put my finger on it. Alright, let's try the flipper tab. Pretty good. The detent feels a little light. Let's see if I can fail it. Well, yeah, I can. It feels light, but it actually pretty reliably flips out and pretty easily. So maybe it's not actually light. Maybe it's just the feeling. Let's do the reverse flick with the thumb stud. Yep. Ergonomically, let's see. Yep, pretty comfortable. I don't feel the clip at all. Let's get some close-ups here. Nice flat ground blade. I guess you'd call that it looks like a spear point to me. Let's get these fingerprints off of here. The scales are pretty thick, which I kind of like. Gives it a nice grip. The liners are shadow boxed, meaning the liners stick out a little bit past the scale there so you can see them. That's a nice touch. We got internal milling for weight relief. It's a pretty interesting blade shape. It's got almost like a little hump here where the swedge is. Very smooth. Now they do make a version of this knife that's a front flipper, which honestly I kind of wanted over this one, but the guy that I was trading with, he had this one, and I just decided I would get it. But they do make one where it doesn't have the flipper tab, and instead it has a front flipper, and it does not have the thumb studs, but it has the opening. So it's a front flipper slash hole, I guess. Let's try to remove these thumb studs and try it with just the finger hole. Let's see, I don't know if I have my Torx bits out here. I don't think I do. Should I go get them real quick? Okay. Promise me, will you guys be patient for like 5 or probably 10 seconds while I go get that? Don't leave, okay? Promise me you're not gonna go anywhere. I'll be right freaking back. Were you counting? Was that 10 seconds? I wasn't counting. Okay. Also got a Q-tip because I saw a little bit of gunk in here I wanted to get out. Yeah, there we go. Usually when I get a used knife, I like to take it apart and give it a nice cleaning. Yeah, just because I don't really want another person's finger gunk in there, you know what I mean? So that looks like a T6, or maybe, no, that looks like maybe an 8. No, that is an 8. Yep. All right, let's put the 8 on the driver here. Now it only has a Torx head on one side, so I'm assuming the other side's not going to spin. Well, it spun a little bit, but I was able to get it right out. Okay, so there's like a little almost like a keyhole shape where that thumb stud used to be. Yeah, there's enough space to get your finger in there. Yeah. Huh. I'll have to play around with it both ways and see which I like better. But that is kind of cool to have the option. Yeah, this thing is smooth, man. So just right off the bat, one thing I don't really like is this button stands up pretty far off of the scale. Now, the only other button locks I've really handled are Civivi's button locks, particularly the Civivi Cogent. And their buttons, they sit farther down. They're not sticking up quite as much. So there's less travel that you need to push it down for before it disengages. It's not like a crazy amount, but I do notice it. If you've never handled a button lock before, you're not even really going to be able to tell because you don't have any frame of reference for it. But I can tell that, you just have a further distance for you to push down on that button before you disengage. So, not the end of the world, obviously. It's really not that big of a deal. But, man, I like how quickly you can open and close this thing. It might be one of the fastest opening and closing knives that I have. I mean, look at that. It's pretty much instantaneous. Whoops. Cool. Let's put the thumb stud back on, just so I can kind of feel how it is back to back here. Let me know in the comments what you would do. Would you leave the thumb studs on? I mean, if I can get my finger in there for the reverse flick with the thumb stud on, then I can have best of both worlds. And I kind of can. So, probably just leave them on then. So I can still get in there for the reverse flick. Okay, I like it. Deep carry pocket clip, nothing crazy fancy with that. It does have flathead screws, so nothing snagging on the pocket. We are perfectly centered. Let's check the blade play. Very slight left to right play. Let's see if we can tighten that up. Can't tell if it's just bending or if it really is a little bit of play. If there is play, it's not much at all. Yeah, I think it's just, yeah, it's just bending. There's no play. There's no play. Totally free swinging blade. Cool. Well, I think I like this thing. Yeah. So the front flipper version of this does come with a nice micarta scales, which I kind of like better than this. But this Richlight does look pretty good. I thought it was just going to be flat black, but it's got kind of a little, I don't know, it's got like a pattern in there. Looks kind of cool. The only other knife that I own with this same material is the Towser K. Also a Kaiser, and yeah, I mean, you can kind of see the texture in there too. Obviously this one has a milling path, but let's do some size comparisons very quickly for anybody out there that's looking to get this knife and they maybe have one of these knives that I'm going to put up so you can get a frame of reference for the size of it. This is a pretty new release in the last month or two, so let's get some size comparisons out of the way for you guys that are thinking about buying this. Let's get out all my Kaisers. This is the Kaiser Rogue. This is, not very many people have this knife, I don't think. It's an older model and not a super popular one. But I really like this blade shape. This is pretty much my utility knife for, draw cuts. I I put a really nice edge on this thing, and man, it's so sharp. It's a little razor blade. So this is one of my good work knives. All right, how about the Spyderco's Spyderco PM2 and Manix 2. So it's on the smaller side. I wouldn't call it a small knife. Definitely call it a medium-sized knife. Oh, I forgot my other Kaiser, the Kaiser Deviant. Pretty close in size to the Deviant. The hiccup is slightly longer. Microtech UTX 85. 85 is, well, without the glass breaker, it's about the same size exactly. How about the Rat 2? Is that about the same? Nope, the hiccup is a little bigger. And what else? How about the Benchmade Bug Out? Should be pretty similar, I would imagine. And the Bug Out is very, very slightly much longer, about an 1/8 inch longer. Let's do just 2 more. Hogue Ballista 1 and the Kubi Momentum. There you have it. I think I'm gonna like this knife. I got rid of my Civivi Cogent, so I needed a button lock back in the collection, and this thing is pretty neat. Extremely smooth. I don't know which opening method I like best. I'm not a huge fan of the flipper tab. The detent feels a little weak for it. I mean, you can get it out easily, but the detent just feels a little weak for the flipper tab. But reverse flick for sure, all day. Thumb flick, absolutely. It almost looks like you could front flip this thing. There's almost like a little protrusion there, but I don't think you can. No. Nope. But like I said, there's a version of this that is a front flipper for anybody that would rather have that one. So that's the Kaiser Hiccup. This is just an unboxing and quick look. After I carry this knife for a couple weeks, I'll do a full review on it. And as always, thank you for watching. Subscribe, like the video, do all that stuff for me, please. Trying to grow this channel so that eventually, hopefully I get sent knives for review, and I won't have to spend all my money on knives to make content for you guys. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice? White Mountain Knives and Blade HQ and all you guys and private collectors and anybody, please send me a knife for me to take a look at. I will only have it for a couple days, so I'll do a review on it. Or, well, I guess it depends. If you want me to do a full review, I'll have to carry it. But even if you want me to just take a quick look at it like this, send me a knife. I'll do a quick look on it, make a video, and send it right back to you in exactly the condition as it arrived. So, by the way, I can operate this knife just fine left-handed. Just instead of your thumb, you use your pointer finger on that button. Works just fine. So, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Adios.